Hello there. So I'm still doing the Easter videos. If this is the first one you've watched, then I hope you enjoy it. There are going to be quite a few actually. Now, what I'm going to do today is this is just loosely painted daffodils for the background, so you know they don't need to be done. And then on another piece of card I have made a vase. Or I've painted a vase. It doesn't need to be very good actually, which is just as well. And I am going to cut this out. Okay, bear with me. So basically what I've got is the vase with the fold in the middle, and what I'd like it to do is to sort of spring out when I open the card. So I don't need quite as much of that. So I'm going to stick those in with tape. So that's that part done. And the other part is of course to make daffodils. Now, I like making daffodils. I think they're really nice and easy. I have got some yellow and some green, and I've made some which are darker as well, and I'll make use of those. So I'll only do one on camera, as it were. I'm going to use pinking shears to make the trumpets. If you don't have pinking shears, then I guess you can just take the time and do little V's and everything, because they're not really, they're just sort of fluted. And then that folds over to make the trumpet. So nice and easy. I've got some glue here, although I'm not going to use it because I'm going to sew it straight away, and I don't think wet felt is really that good at being sewn. Yeah, I don't know how the machine would cope with that. Now, to make the petals, they always have 5. That's their sort of standard thing. So I'm going to fold this over so I can do it quickly. And then it literally is a lovely petal shape. Now, I can put these flower shapes up on Facebook, and I don't know how well that goes. So do take a look. I do try and put most of the patterns there, although I am one for making very, very simple shapes. And I'm one for guesstimating as well. But there's quite a few links to other videos, so hopefully you can find other things that you'll like. So I have got 8 petals here, but I only need 5. But I can use them on the next one. It's just that I thought it'd be quicker to cut out a lot rather than cut out a few. So I've got a needle and thread here. Now I find this best to do this bit hand sewn, although I will use the sewing machine because I want to give some rigidity to the stems, and I don't want to put anything sharp in there like a wire or anything to keep them upright. So I'm just going to put a couple of tack sticks in here. This is literally because I haven't used the glue. Yeah, with more time, then you can make these flowers, put a little bit of glue on them, and then maybe use a clothes peg or something to keep them in shape whilst the glue dries. So, don't know why that's been so difficult. But there we go. And because we've used the pinking shears, we've got like a natural flute for the trumpet. Now I have my petals as well, and whilst I've got the needle and thread, I'm going to sew those on. And I'm going to sew them in a fan shape, because they always have 5 petals. And I've gone for a paler yellow for this one. I think narcissuses are this sort of pale, and they have white trumpets, and I think that would look very good as well. So all I've done is I've laid them out on the table so that I can literally pop that in there, and then instead of sewing every petal on individually, for speed and expedience, I just want to get that on there so that you can see what I'm talking about. So that's great. Now I'm going to leave the thread here because I'm going to come back to that, because you either love hand sewing or, like me, you're just not very good at it, and so you don't really spend the time to do it properly. So but the more time you take, the neater it will look. So the needle's still in the bottom there. I won't pull that through. Now, so the stem. Now I did allude that I was going to run the sewing machine over here just to make the stitches a bit more, to make the stem a bit more rigid. I'm also going to cut out 2 leads, and they are a lot long and thin with daffodils, so yeah, they are pretty much like the stalks. So I've got 1 leaf there, that'll do. I'm going to fold this in half. Now this is going to be quite tricky for the sewing machine to sew because it hasn't got much of a place where it can grip on its feet. So this is normal thread. It's not anything deliberately thicker to make it more rigid, but just this little bit will help. So there we go. I might as well do this properly, eh? There we are, I'll just pull it through. I'm just going to trim these ends because otherwise it's going to be tricky to get them on, to get them trimmed afterwards. So here we go, I've got my flower again, still with my needle, and where I started it off, it's open a bit, so I'm just going to cover that there. Now, on normal daffodils, real daffodils, they do have a flaky bit. I'm not even going to attempt to do that. I'm just going to ignore it. Think of it as an artist's interpretation of a daffodil. Yeah, that'll do, won't it? So I'm just putting another couple of tack stitches on here. But of course you can use the glue, whichever you feel comfortable with. Okay. So, I'm going to borrow a couple of these from an earlier project, but the principle's the same. And why don't we make one that's still in bud as well? So, we'll get this, and we're going to roll it over, and then we're going to finish the top off and cut down the side. So I'm just going to put a couple of stitches in there. Yeah, I suppose clothes pegs. I keep a packet of clothes pegs in here, and then you could literally, whilst the glue sets, you could make use of one of these to hold it in place. But we'll make do, won't we? We'll make do without it. So I do need to do another stem as well. Lovely. So again, that is probably 3/4 of an inch wide, and then I'm going to fold it over, and I'm literally just going to run the sewing machine along. Now I haven't measured these. I do want them different lengths because I think it would just make them prettier in the arrangement. Lovely. Excuse me. So here I go. This is the one that I was doing. I'm just going to put that in there. And then I'm doing a couple more stitches again. Might as well put a knot on it. Might as well. There we go. So here we are. We've now got 4 flowers and one of them's a bud. And what I want to do is I want to take a piece of cotton and just wind that round to keep them in place. Oh, I've got a leaf as well, haven't I? Forgot about that. Yeah, it's really up to you how many leaves you put on there. I'm just going to do one because I don't want it too bulky. And this is literally just a piece of cotton and I'm wrapping it round so that they're not kept in place, but they are in place. And then these bits I'm going to just trim off. So let me have a quick tidy. And there we have the flowers to go in the card. Now ideally what you want is the flowers to be inside the card so that it then fits in an envelope nicely. So maybe we could take a little bit more off the bottom, but I'm not going to because I think it looks really nice. And then we have the vase that will go over the top. And we want it, when we open it, to all ping out. So I've got here framing tape. Knotted up with string. Rather than try and unwaggle it, I just cut it out. The drawer gets a bit messy. So let me find that. Let me get rid of those flowers. And first of all, I'm going to stick it on the back. I'm not going to worry about the picture. I'm not even going to try and get the picture because all this will be covered up. And then I'm going to tape it on at a nice angle. And then I'm going to tape on the other side. Now taping on the first bit is quite easy. Taping on the second bit is a bit more tricky. So I'm taping it to the tab and then I'm folding it over and pushing it in. And you can take a moment or two just to get them all nice and lined up, like that outwards. So, and keep all your tape hidden. And there we are. So they pop in there. And, okay. So what I'm going to do is, this one's a bit long and it didn't fit in the envelope. I am now going to adjust it because it's too floppy. Because you have to think that even though I've strengthened the wires, strengthened the stem with just stitches rather than wires, the heads are heavier. So there we go. I have another bit of cotton and I'm literally just winding it round nice and tight, and the two ends I've got here, and I can just slip that into a knot. So very easy indeed. And this is going to be behind the vase. I could do another stabilising bit of cotton in there as well, but I'm not going to, or I wasn't planning to. And there we are. So we have our card that we can fold up and put in an envelope, the envelope that comes with it, and a very nice surprise Easter gift. Okay, well, I hope you've enjoyed that. This has been annoying me, and it literally is just a spare piece of cotton. Alright, so I hope you have a lovely and blessed Easter, and hopefully I will catch you again. If you can subscribe to my videos, do, because then you can find other videos that I've done. I do 4 videos a week, 1 at the weekend and 3 on Tuesday. So, yeah, do have a look out for me. Thanks ever so much.